Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to iRacing and the Skippies series. This week in Silverstone, in a very old and irrelevant layout of Silverstone that is some reason still in iRacing. But we're gonna do this very, very late in the night race because of scheduling. Just by my lonesome. This is I think a single split race. So, going to be lots of calamity back here, but pretty close times here at the front. Louis here, or Lewis, I'm not sure which. I'm going to go with Lewis. Just gut feeling. Is that pink car from the previous race. And, yeah, we had a pretty good race with him previously. Those two words shouldn't have been said back to back. It's very late in the day for me, so I'm trying my best here. In this very strange late race format, I'm ranked number 1, so a lot of pressure there for not a lot of speed. I don't feel too great about this track, and I also...
Hello.
Get rid of those guys. I also... Now I've lost my train of thought. Thanks, guys. You ruined me. What was I gonna say? Oh, I remembered. I lost my setup before this race. I saved it, and for whatever reason, iRacing didn't like it. And it said it was saved, but it was gone, so I just kind of went off of memory before this race started. Also, those were the quickest lights I've ever seen. We would like to not be side by side into this turn.
Keep right there. All clear, all clear.
Get down to the curb there. Alright, let's try and hang with these two. Because draft is key here. Fourth, use a lot of curb. On third here. Louis.
Car on your left.
Or Lewis.
All clear, all clear.
One or the other. Very nice save. Very nice. Yeah, this is one of those places where the draft is really important. I feel like this is a track that's just too big for these cars. But it's the same for everybody, right? So we'll do what we do. Kind of a weird exit for the 4 there. Log jammed us all up.
Car on your left.
Alright, we know this guy. Very aggressive. Will try to pass every single turn.
Go there, hold your line.
Every single turn. Okay, he's got the inside for this one. We don't want the 11 to slip by. So I'm going to brake early.
Clear on the left.
Ooh, he tried to make that stick. He really tried to make that stick. That was a bit far, my friend. I know, trying to sneak through and use the fact that I was out of line to his advantage, but that was too many car lengths in my opinion. This thought bubble is really just continuing because I'm very focused. These words are just spewing out of my mouth with no meaning. Okay, let's try and hang with the 2 here.
0.466.
A little fast into this turn. You don't want to go out into the green stuff there. This car just instantly snaps around sideways if you do. Being all cheeky, trying to break my draft. I think I eyeballed the setup correctly. It feels as good as it did before. The weather is quite cool, actually, so a nice amount of grip in the track and a nice amount of speed in the cars. Perfect drafting distance here. So we'll get all the draft effects, but not have to try and pass them. Well, actually, it didn't really pull me up to him at all, which is surprising. Going nice and tidy there. really nice for the three of us to just have some nice, calm, cool laps here and pull away from the field. That would be an ideal situation. I think I've said those kind of words a bunch this season, and it's never happened. Alright, I'm reporting you. Well, those are new words. It's the first time we've seen those words this season. I record all the races. Boy, what is with that weird entry into this turn? I mean, I guess it's working for him? That seems awful risky. I guess risky's what you gotta do in spec racing. Like, everybody's got the same car, everybody's got the same speed. So in order to be better than anybody else, you gotta take more risks. I suppose that is a different racing mentality than other series I've run in the past.
2 minutes, 8.447, 10 to go.
Gotta get more of that curb in turn 1. Remember how I said, don't go out on here? Oh, no, no, no! Oh. I need a very strong drink right now. We both did the same thing. We both fought the same fight. He lost it, but I was now then in the area where he was losing it. Oh, man. I saw my virtual little life flash before my eyes. Okay, alright. There's your excitement for the race. That, is probably gonna be it. I'm so offline, out of it. Okay, back in the groove. Maybe we can run down this leader guy. I doubt it. But maybe. We got a lot of laps to try. And nothing else to do. Maybe we'll find something here, just hot lapping by ourselves. 3.9 seconds is a closable gap in, 9 laps. Gosh, I don't see it there. I don't see how that wide entry really helps. Seems to kind of throw the next set of corners off a bit. And this series is such a monkey see, monkey do situation. Everybody sees the laps that are posted from the super fast guys, and they go, okay, every lap I run, I'm going to mirror those lines. Well, maybe those lines don't work for you. Maybe they don't work for your setup. There's a lot of other variables at play here. Hit that curb. Yes, that's what we want. Look at the time gain there. Beautiful. Nobody behind us anymore. All we can do is try to run faster. That was too much. That was much too much. I mean, it's fast. We'll take it off track every lap if we do that. We don't want that. That was a big kind of controversy with the recent iRacing Spa 24-hour, is that they removed the total incident cap. So Spa, as you guys know if you follow the iRacing series, ridiculous on the way it tracks off tracks. Ridiculous. It is extremely frustrating. So on every given lap, you could take 4 to 5x just on silly little curb drops and maximizing the track. Well, it used to be that you couldn't do that in those endurance races. In this one, you could, and some people did, to the point of getting literally over 1,000 incident points throughout the race as a team. But you can gain 3-4 tenths a lap on somebody not doing that, which was the whole point, basically, of the incident point cap becoming a thing. So raises a little bit of a question there. Is that fair to cap everybody or not? Is it fair that you could tank your your safety rating for 3 to 4 tenths a lap? I guess it kind of exposes the whole flaw to me in the safety rating system. Ooh, that was a smoking lap. You know, if it punishes for off tracks like that, but you can get a faster lap, then what's the point of punishing for off tracks? I guess what I'm saying is, if you're gonna have the safety rating thing, you have to have the cap thing. Like, you have to make it so that the off tracks actually mean something, because safety rating doesn't mean everything to everybody. Some people would be totally fine having a 1.2 safety rating for their entire iRacing career, versus others would be like, no, I have to keep it above 4. It's a very big topic and not something that I have all of the expertise in the world, and obviously I don't run endurance racing, so I don't have a solid opinion on it, but it's certainly something I've made note of in the past, is that the whole off-track system in iRacing feels real cheap. It doesn't feel anything like what real life is, which is what iRacing is supposed to be like. Boy, this is going to be a thriller. I'm running laps I'm pretty happy with. Somewhat worse at times, but I'm not closing at all. He's stepping away. I wish Lewis hadn't had the crash, because I think we could have had a nice little tussle. But it is what it is. We've had a couple good races here in the past 2 at least. They're not all barn burners. Which kind of brings up another topic in my head. What's that? Get a beverage.
2 minutes, 8,
And that is kind of the modern motorsports fan mentality, that every race is supposed to be close and is supposed to be amazing, versus I think what true racing is doesn't necessarily require that. I think it's actually totally acceptable to have some races where one guy or one person absolutely curb stomps the rest of the field. That's how it works. Some drivers really click with tracks. Some cars are just amazingly good. Is it less exciting when the races aren't close? Absolutely. But the obsession with every race has to be absolutely door to door the entire race is a goal that is not achievable by any means other than doing stuff that is super phony. So it's got to be one way or the other. Either you have to embrace phoniness in racing, or you need to embrace the fact that races like this happen. There are 5 cars here in the top 5, all running pretty different paces. So the odds of them racing together is low. I think there's still plenty of interesting stuff in racing, even if it's not necessarily close door-to-door action or wheel-to-wheel. Understeer there. So you could be watching me and saying, wow, he just totally lost the nose there. How interesting. Or how I am stuck in the absolute middle of these 2 cars. The car behind me is falling behind me as much as the car ahead of me is pulling away from me. An interesting situation. be nice to try and get faster. I feel like a lot of these rhythm tracks, the tracks that require pinpoint apexes every turn to have the next turn go right, are not really my strong suit. Suzuka, not usually a track that I'm particularly good at, despite our win there this season, for that same reason. And this particular layout of Silverstone is much like that. I think the modern layout, the current one, actually suits me a little bit better. Nice lap here so far. Really slide the back end, but that's the way you can get through that turn fast. It's kind of one of the things I've learned with this car over the course of the season so far, is that there's a lot of time in letting it slide a bit. Not a lot, just a bit. That's because of its tendency to understeer. A little bit oversteer can actually be very good for you. This will be a faster lap for us. I think we actually ran faster than the leader for once. Brilliant!
2 minutes, 7.
That makes me happy.
7, 4, 7, 5 to go at the line.
5 to go. Well, it's not going to be an exciting race, but it'll be a quick one. Ooh, stay out of the green stuff, though. Long laps here in a car this painfully slow. I've heard some, or read some, oh, that's off track for no reason, some pretty positive comments about this series, which is strange. Well, that sounds bad. It's strange to me because I was very decided on and concerned about the fact that people wouldn't like the Skippies because it's such a downgrade versus a lot of the cars I've run in the past. It's so simple, it's so slow, very bare bones. But it seems like people do appreciate the fact that it's a little bit closer competition. It's a little bit more aggressive than even I was prepared for. And it might be actually pretty good, other than this race, pretty good learning for me, learning to kind of elbows up a little bit more. I'm never going to be the real aggressive elbows up racer, I can tell you that much right now. It's just not me. But I'll be first to admit that I need more of it. A little bit more like Assetto Corsa League Cone Dodger mixed in with the iRacing Cone Dodger, because very different driving styles between the two. Racing with people I know versus people that I don't know in a serious setting.
0.144.
A toast. I mentioned how late it is in the day. A pretty big difference is what I was trying to say. I'm tired. Leave me alone. I'm trying very hard to maintain the video a day schedule, as well as at least 2 streams a week, if not 3, despite the fact that I'm back at work. So I'm not going to say it's not a challenge. It certainly is. But I feel as though the consistency is appreciated. Seems like it's a good thing. Even if there are some series that I've had to kind of skip out on for a little while here. Looking at you, Automation. they're having a good battle there in third, fourth, and fifth. See, I guarantee you a large percentage of iRacing quote-unquote YouTubers, which is kind of a gross thing to say, but I guarantee you most of them would never post a race like this. It's too boring. It's too it doesn't show them as the badass that goes out and passes people that, you know, doesn't take any shit. That's the kind of iRacing YouTuber mentality that I tend to see. But no, it's just me. I'm a cone dodger. I race like a normal human. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's meh. A little behind there. Usually this thing gets a lot faster at the end of the run, but actually starting to feel a little skatier. Or maybe I'm dropping concentration. It's most likely that, to be honest. Which is why I mentioned that I'm not a very good endurance racer, which was a surprise to people because, you know, consistency and not being overly aggressive are kind of the staples of my racing style. But also, on a long run, running by myself, I tend to lose focus quite easily. I lose the drive a little bit. Which is not a fantastic combination, to be honest. And whoop. I think it's actually this turn coming up that I hate most on this layout. It's very awkward. I wish we used the one that's coned off there. Yeah. This is one of those turns that kills any racing. You want to try and pass there? Good luck. Not playing that at all. There's not a lap traffic. I was a little worried about that with a field like this, but it seems like, as predicted, most of the bottom half of the field just wrecked out in the first 2 laps.
2 laps to go.
2 to go.
Minute 8.63.
Minute 8. Not really losing speed here. Get it together, Cone. You can do better than this. Car should be at its best. Let's talk it through it. 5th gear, inside curb. 4th gear, a lot of curb. 3rd gear, a little bit of curb. And let it coast, let it coast, let it coast. Little tap of the brake there. Bit too much. I spoiled my run out. Launch straight away. 5th gear at the bridge. This turn has no great braking markers at all. Put it right about here. 3rd gear, let it float. Try to get down to the curb, and then right when you see it, you can get back to the gas. There's another one with tricky braking points. I'm using that white line, although I kind of locked up the brakes a bit there. And this one, hug that curb. You just gotta kind of feel for it when you can get out of the gas. Track out wide here. This one coming up has no braking markers at all. Kind of using just after the cones there. It's alright. Missed the apex a little bit in that turn. And then here, it's all by feel, just let it float. Back to the gas. Down a second, inside curb. Gas as soon as you can. This is a big floater. Yeah, you just gotta wait for the right moment, use the curb to actually loosen it up.
White flag this time by. One more to go.
Hey, let's set a best sector this lap that we've walked through. 5th gear.
2 minutes, 8.095.
Kind of in between these two for the first turn. You want to clip that inside curb, but you don't have to. You can kind of just flip through the middle. Curb will get you faster, though. Inside, 4th gear. 3rd gear. Curb, 3rd gear over there, just to gauge our speed, but we're going to need 3rd gear to get out of this turn anyway. Okay, good lap, we should be shifting at the ridge, and we are. As much as I hate it, I have ended up flat shifting this car a lot. Though it's not super realistic, just because it has so little power, and there's no penalty for not doing it. It's kind of a nature of the beast. You just have to. A little tight on this exit. Try and keep it close to the inside to make up that time back. Plenty of fuel. Still in no man's land. Let's slide a little bit there. That was much better. Even if we did catch a little grass. Big thunk of dirt or rubber. A little tight there. Which I'm sure is why that wide entry is more popular. A little too much speed at the apex there. So we'll wait to get on the gas. And that will be our race. We're going to end with a 207. That would be nice. Probably just barely. And we did. 207.9. Well, like I said,
There's the checker.
they can't all be amazing. They can't all be wheel to wheel.
There you go, man. Good job, driver.
But we had an amazing save, if you will, at the beginning and near death. And then just kind of drove ourselves a smart race. Should be good for points for us. I was not really looking forward to Silverstone at all. Next week we move on to Road America. Should be a good show there. That sounds like, again, a track way too big for these cars. But I can just sense that that's going to be a lot of fun. So we look forward to that one, and I will see you next week.